Hey YouTube! How you doing today, guys? I'm gonna finish up my predatory carrier conversation. Alright, now I can openly talk about what was going on, what happened to me, my experience, and the name of the company that I was working for. I'm gonna start with the orientation. Didn't last very long with me working for them, but let's talk about it, okay? So the name of the company is GT Express out of Kankakee, Illinois. Alright? I'm going to talk about pros and cons. I'm going to start with the pros, because the cons outweigh the pros, bar none. Alright? Pros to the company. They will hire just about anyone. I'm being serious. As long as you're not on a SAP program or anything like that, you are pretty much a shoo-in. If you've got accidents, speeding tickets, violations, they will work with you. If you're new to trucking, you haven't had your CDL very long, they will work with you. So that is good. That is good for new guys that are just getting into the trucking industry. If you don't have a lot of flatbed experience, or you have no flatbed experience, they will work with you. Okay? So, let's get into the cons. A lot of cons. I was offered, we'll start with pay. I was offered 30% of the gross of the load, $10.99, and I was offered a $3.89 Peterbilt and an RGN. Alright, I've been doing RGNs for a while. I've been doing open deck almost my entire career. I can go to a heavy haul fleet. I'm pretty much a shoo-in, right? I like to work. It's not for everybody, but that's the kind of trucking I like to do. And I have verifiable experience and proof that I've done it and I'm proficient at it. So, let's start off. I go to orientation, fly to O'Hare Airport from Las Vegas, where I live. And I'm waiting for a shuttle for about 2-3 hours. We're driving around the airport, picking up other drivers. No big deal, is what it is. Like, can't just get me to the airport. I just flew fucking 5 hours to get here. But whatever, right? We're working with what we got. I'm just trying to make the best of my situation. And I wasn't really desperate to get a job. I just kind of wanted to test the waters, because I was offered this job by a guy that works there, and he said that it's great, but he doesn't work as a driver. He is in like HR kind of guy, right? So he's not a recruiter, right? He's just a guy that works there, and he knows that they need quality drivers, and he's worked for another company that I've worked at. And he knows what kind of guy I am and what kind of effort and work I put in. But he doesn't actually drive for them. So anyways, that was a red flag, dealing with him in that. I don't blame him for my experience, but I do definitely think he is liable for a little bit of it. Get there. Get to the hotel room, first day of orientation, meet Eric, the vice president, take a drug test, so on and so forth, just a drug test. Fill out a bunch of paperwork, they make you sign a contract. The second day you're there, and they feed you pizza. And I didn't know that they were going to charge me for the pizza that I was eating, which is kind of fucking weird. But anyways, I'm just there, and I'm just thriving, right? I'm just getting through it, trying to figure it out. Day 2, they tell me, by the way, your pay is not 30%, it's 25%. Everyone that walks through the door starts at 25%, so that was a lie. I got lied to right there. Second lie. I noticed that there's not a lot of trucks in the yard. Yeah, you're not getting a Peterbilt or a Kenworth W900. You're not getting a hood. You're getting a belly button truck. There isn't even enough belly button trucks there. So there are not enough Volvos, Freightliners, Cascadias in that yard. So we need to wait for a truck for you. Alright, that was not good. We do not have enough RGN trailers for you to take one. So you're gonna have to get a flatbed. So you fucked me. You fucked me there too. That's another bad one, right? You put me in equipment that I know how to run. I just don't like to run it because there's no money in it. All of the trucks, listen closely, all of the trucks are governed at 65 miles an hour. You cannot get the governor adjusted. Even though you're a private contractor making 65%, their equipment is governed at 65 miles an hour. So if you're making percentage pay, only being able to do 65 miles an hour, you're screwed. The type of logs that they use is called OmniTrack, some outdated old school shit. No one uses that shit in the industry anymore. Okay, I don't know why they're using OmniTrack. It is junk. I actually do know why, but that'll be later on. I'll tell you that story. Okay. Day 3 goes. Guy comes in, goes, this driver needs a trainer. I said, I can train him. I've got the experience in open deck. I can train the guy. It's not a big deal. Me and another guy that just started that same day, there's 19 drivers, and like out of the 19, 4 of us actually knew what the fuck we were doing. Everybody else was dry van or reefer or had like 2 weeks of open deck experience. And a large majority of those guys that came in that had the experience, I think like 3 of them quit during orientation. So there's only like 3 of us left out of the 6. There was 3 that stayed for the entire orientation because we were just like, we're here, we live far, we're not gonna spend $200 on an Uber to get to the airport, another $300 on a plane ticket to get out of Illinois. So then we signed the contract. There's a truck escrow. You have to pay over 90 days $2,000 for this truck escrow, whatever. All right, no big deal. It's kind of outrageous, because to be fair, $2,000 taken out of your paychecks over 90 days. If you know anything about insurance, you know that most deductibles are anywhere from $500 to $1,000, depending on the liability. Okay. Another thing that I didn't read in the contract that I ended up getting screwed on the second week that I worked for them was that they charge you for an insurance, a contractor's insurance. It's like workers' compensation or some dumb shit. And that was like $333 out of your second paycheck. So that's like robbery. I've never heard of needing workers' compensation insurance or worker liability insurance. Why am I paying for any insurance if I'm just a subcontractor? That's fucking weird. Kind of scammy. Actually, it's very scammy because in the state of Illinois, you can Google the law right now if you got a chance, but in the state of Illinois, it literally says that it is illegal for an employer or contractor to pay, mandatorily have to pay insurance, whether it be workers' compensation or, let's say, like, just any insurance. You just don't. Whoever owns the truck carries the liability. So if you don't own the equipment that you're in, they carry the liability. Why are you paying for a policy on it? It's just like a rental company. If you rent a fucking backhoe from somebody, you can add the extra insurance to the backhoe. Most people don't. They don't add extra insurance for operator error because one of their guys, you sign a contract that says if you get hurt, it's on you. You know, when you sign a rental agreement for a heavy equipment or anything like that, if you hurt yourself, go to the ER. It's not our fucking problem. You know, or have your company pay for it, whoever you're sub to. I've never heard of this shit before in my life happening in the trucking industry, but they were whacking me for it there. So, day 4 of orientation, I'm looking for a truck. Still have to sleep in a hotel room another night, and guess what? They're charging me for staying in their hotel room. They're charging me for eating their pizza at the orientation. Just fucking nickel and diming the fuck out of me, right? Which, you know, is what it is. They charge me for the flight out there. Charging me for everything up the ass, right? And it's just, it is what it is. That's just the name of the game. In some situations, it's just really red flaggish. People shouldn't do that. It's bad practice. if you're looking for the help and then you find the help, you should be vetting the people that you are asking to come up instead of paying for everything and then hoping that they're the right kind of employee. Hey, I don't own the company. We'll get into that. How I got berated for that on day 4. Get the truck. It's an international LT or TL, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Biggest belly button truck in the fucking world. And I get a flatbed, not the fucking trailer I wanted. I get the percentage, not the percentage I was offered. I'm fucking pissed. And I have to train a guy. So whatever. I train this guy for a week. They don't even pay me the $500 trainer pay for having him in my truck for a week and teaching him how to secure loads. So I got screwed out of $500 there on my first week of work, or second week of work. In total, I made $450 my first week for orientation, and I had to do some work at orientation by transporting some trucks to an auction, so I made an extra $150. But the orientation pay starting out is $300 for 3 days that can turn into 4 days or 5 days. They don't pay breakdown pay, they don't pay tarping, they don't pay this, they don't pay that. They're just cheap. Just cheap. Now let's talk about management. Eric. I've dealt with guys like Eric a large majority of my life, right? I have dealt with 1% ex-military, I'm better than you, I can cut you off at the pass kind of guys my entire life. And just really bad, abrasive personalities like that just don't make any sense to keep those kind of people in the loop when it comes to dealing with people, dealing with drivers. So in my professional opinion, the company is, I'm assuming that the owner of the company isn't a bad guy. The guy that's running the company, Eric, is just a piece of shit. He's just a piece of shit. Like, he's abrasive. He's not a good guy. He's not. People say, oh, well, you just don't understand. But, like, I talked to some of the drivers that have been there a while, and, you know, Eric's big spiel is, you want to make money, you want to make money. How am I supposed to make money only being able to go 65 miles an hour and clapped out equipment? How am I supposed to make money when I'm on some OmniTrack logs because you guys got audited by the FMCSA for log violations in multiple trucks like last year, and you have you had to pay a $2 million fine against your fucking MC and DOT number? How the fuck do you expect any private contractor to come in the doors and run the truck like they want to run the truck, but still screw over, the drivers? And here's where I found out that I was really getting fucked. You ready for this one? So your dispatcher, when you're working for percentage pay, your dispatcher sends you the rate con. And here's where I knew something was wrong. The rate con is editable. So what that means is, say the dispatcher that is in Moldova books the load for this amount. Say he books it for 5,000 and he gets the load. It's an oversized load. Now he comes to you, he edits it and says, oh, I only booked it for 4,000 or 3,500. Now you're only getting 25% of 3,500, and he's just going to pocket the rest of the money. He's going to pocket the company's going to pocket the other 2,000 or 2,500 or 1,500. And then you're screwed. Now you screwed the pooch. Now they're really stealing from you. And I figured this out when I tripped up my dispatcher. I said, how much did I make last week? And he said, oh, you made $9,500. You grossed $9,500. And I said, well, according to my math here, I only made $5,600. I did $5,600 in gross. So where's the other $4,000? And then he didn't reply. Whew! Not good. And not good at all. Another thing that I specifically said is, like, if I'm going to run and only be able to do 65 miles an hour, and you only want the truck to gross over 5,000, as long as you're grossing over 5,000, you're in good standings. I said, keep me Western Regional. Well, in their mind, they're a Midwest East Coast carrier, so they are trying to send me all the way to the East Coast when I live on the West Coast. Okay, that's not going to work for me. Not in a truck that does 65 miles an hour. I'm not going to sit in New Jersey and Illinois and most of the places that the fucking speed limit is 70, 80 miles an hour on the West Coast. Like, why the fuck am I going to do 65 miles an hour everywhere? It's crazy. That is bananas. And, yeah, I just couldn't deal with it no more. I couldn't. After I figured out all the lies just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and they started fucking with my money, I was like, nah, I'm good. So what I did is I left their fuel card, their ELD, everything. I left it inside their truck at their yard in Vegas. Now, according to them, what their company policy is that the truck must be returned to Illinois. That's the home terminal of the company. It cannot be left at one of their pilot terminals in Vegas or any other state, or else they'll consider that an abandonment. I don't understand how it's an abandonment when they have terminals in different states, and that's an abandonment when it's their terminal. They're paying to park their trucks there, or they own the land, whatever the fucking case may be. That's their shit. That's where their shit belongs, right? So I'm getting screwed left and right, like atrociously. So they're going to give me an abandonment. As a little kicker to hopefully that they don't give me the abandonment, I had to forfeit $900 on my last load. I said keep the load. I'm not gonna try and get it, factored out or whatever. I'm just gonna go about my life and go somewhere else. So that about wraps up. Eric, man, it's just sad. Like, that's just a sad fucking individual. Sad, no kids, no wife, sad fucking guy, man. Small penis, likely. I don't know. I don't penis gaze, but small, definitely small dick. Institutionalized through the government from fucking being in the military. Needs to be assertive into everything because he's all-seeing, all-knowing. Just not a good leader, not a good manager. I'm not saying that the company should close their doors, but what I am gonna say is that if you continue practice like that, the industry is going to oust you, and hopefully this will bring awareness to other drivers. Like, if you are looking into GT Express, if you're looking into working for them in Kankakee, Illinois, and you're just doing your research, don't do it. Don't go work for them. Don't do it. I'm not saying that they can't get their shit together. There's a solution to every problem, in my opinion. I'm just saying that they aren't going to come up with that solution anytime soon. So if you're considering going out to an orientation, I would call them up and tell them your dog died or something. I would personally not put myself through that. And I hope that this finds the right person that's considering it and they take my advice. I don't wish ill on anyone's company. I just wanted to tell my experience and how their predatory actions affected my life. So I lost a little over, with the 900, I lost almost $2,000 in 3 weeks. And I worked. I busted my ass. And I made $2,300 but lost somehow $2,000 out of the $2,300 because I just couldn't put up with that shit. They stole. I don't know if you want to call it stealing or just poor management or just not understanding, but like, if you are worth your shit, you have experience, they're not the company for you. They're not going to be a good fit for you. Just don't waste your time. Go somewhere else. If you want to do 1099, There is a bunch of Eastern European trucking companies. United Translogistics is a good one. DreamWorks. If you're in the Midwest or something, go up to Illinois. You can find some smaller fleets that'll hire you on and whatever, man. Like, but as far as that company, GT Express, don't do it. Like, just 10 miles of separation. Don't do it. Stay away. Beware. As for me, I am the manager of a trucking company that I started with my friend. It is called Rush Logistics. Here's our logo. There's our MC and DOT number right there. And we do hot shots and van. We haul boats, power onlys. We're located in South Florida. We do all 48. $100,000 cargo or $100,000 cargo, million liability. Let us know what you got. We're not looking for drivers at this moment, but we are looking to work directly with brokers. So if you are a broker and you're watching this video, maybe you work for GT Express and you're watching this video, feel free to contact me. Leave in the comments what your experience was like with a predatory carrier or with GT Express. You know, let's bring light as an industry to people that are doing this, to the drivers that are making the shit happen. Because if we don't bring the knowledge and bring the people that and hold them accountable in this industry for shit like that, it'll just continue happening and it'll never get better and people will still be getting jacked. So yeah, feel free, once again, call that number. That is my phone. I do dispatch my other van. I am on DAT, truck stop. Yeah, let me know what you guys got going on. And have a good day. I hope everyone stays safe out there. Keep trucking, guys.